Dave.
Aloha, welcome back to the Cyber Underground. I'm your host, Dave Stevens, and today we're going to find out the tricky, how to get into the cybersecurity industry. And most people think you can't do this. This is too hard to train. You got to go on the web. You got to look something up. You got to read a book or 2 or 7 or 18. But then if you want to do this for a living, how do you actually get the education in economical manner to actually go out and get the certification, to get the job? What's the process? And how do you get the money to do it? Today we have our exceptional co-host, Andrew the Security Guy.
Hey, everybody.
And our award-winning student, Nathaniel Winks.
I wanted to point out, before Dave gets rolling here, that there's 2 sides of this fence you can get on.
Yeah.
You can get on the dark side of this fence with relatively little education and a email account and a little bit of onion router and go nuts. Right? Or you can go the right way, which what we're trying to convince people to do is to stay ethical and stay white hat and help us all with this problem.
Hopefully they will. But you're there to combat the people that don't do it that way.
Right.
Right.
That's what we're working on.
Hopefully, so that, yeah, there's 2 sides of that coin, and it's always going to be that way, right? So, so a little bit about you.
Yeah, give us some background.
Yeah, background on yourself. Where are you from? How'd you get here?
What size shoes?
That's too long of a story. No, but I'm
he said no, I think.
Yeah. No, this is flat out.
I'm from Alabama, so
that's okay. We like it.
So sorry.
You're from Alabama. So.
I did, and he still likes me.
No, so yeah, I'm from Alabama. I've moved to Hawaii about 4 years ago, and the last couple of years I've been at KCC. Had pretty good professors there. You know.
Oh, that's a great. That's to get a grade pump there. That's
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
No, but I went there for IT, and then I started doing the research on what was the shift, in the field.
You're doing trending analysis, right? See where
yeah, I
IT's
mean,
going.
And you could not deny what was going to be hot in the next couple of years, and so I switched to the ISA route for security.
That's information security assurance. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. And what was your plan? Did you have a plan, or did you just switch to the classes and started taking classes?
I'm still winging.
What were you taking before that?
So I had actually gone to school before, and that was just gen ed classes.
Oh, okay.
But this time going in, I knew that I was going for IT at the very least.
So you had a goal.
Yeah. So this time I stepped in, and I was taking networking classes, OS hardware classes, things like that. And that was really interesting. And then just through research and through it was Hal actually that was talking about this stuff. I just learned that was probably my best bet to get the most out of this career.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about Hal Cochran. He's our networking instructor, and he also teaches cybersecurity fundamentals.
Awesome.
At Capulina Community College. So those courses were provided because of curriculum development paid for through a government grant. It was a federal grant. In 1974, they created this Trade Adjustment Assistance Grant.
74?
In 1974. So that was to help people that were getting worked out of a job and changes in technology and the economy, and they had to adjust and retrain and get into another career field. It's going to happen with coal very soon here. Somebody's going to have to tell those guys, coal's going away for the most part. You need to get into another career. And that's what this grant was actually originally for. Now, in 2009, President Obama and Uncle Joe signed a little bill extending that called the Trade Assistance Adjustment Community College and Career Training Act, so TACT. And they gave a whole bunch of money to a whole bunch of states. Most of the money, by the way, went to Illinois. Imagine that.
Because of all the coal miners?
Because that's where the president was from.
Oh, because of Chicago?
Yeah,
okay,
because Chicago,
okay,
and then the second largest funds actually came here to Hawaii.
Really?
Imagine that.
That's awesome.
And then in 2015, and it was for a number of fields, but in 2015 it was to support 2 specific fields, healthcare and cyber. So we got about $5 million to put into cyber education, buy the equipment for training, and create curriculum. And this is specifically for the community colleges.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we have
entry level.
Entry level stuff.
Yeah, first 2 years.
We want the first 2 years, and we want to get people from absolute zero to where they can make a decision. Do I want to enter the career field now as a cyber technician, or do I want to get my bachelor's or go on? Actually, Manoa, the main campus of UH, has a PhD in information assurance. And you're going to go for UH West Oahu
Yes.
Information Assurance Bachelor of Applied Science.
Yes.
which got created without this grant. So we created all these courses, and then UH said, oh, well, we'll just tack on another 2 years, which is
good.
Great. And that's run by Matt Chapman, who used to run Cybercom here up at Camp Smith at Pacific Command,
Awesome.
right up here in Halaba. So yeah, he's moving on to that. So that's how we got the money and the curriculum to do this. And then I don't think we did much advertising. So I was really curious how somebody chose to get into the cyber arena, because we made a system of courses to give you a cybersecurity certificate of competence or achievement based on how many units you got.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went for the achievement one, you also got your Associates of Science in IT as well.
Yes.
Yeah, on the way. So the course is actually, it's, you get double credit.
Right.
Kind of nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So tell us more about your experience. I mean, you talked to Hal. Hal said, hey, security is a big one.
Yeah, so you guys already had me. Like I didn't come in because of the grant. Like I was already in for IT, but yeah, I mean it was really just the trend analysis that got me into that. But when I was already taking like networking class, already taking the OS hardware class, and I think that a lot of students should, regardless of whether they go into security or IT route, whatever, put in the extra time and try to get the most out of it. So it's not just the certifications or whatnot, but it's the labs that you guys set up. So I think that's through the TACT grant. You said that.
Yeah, so we set up the NetLab environment. I think you're talking about that.
Right.
Most of the labs are done in NetLab. That's a virtualization environment. They're little sandboxes that you get to go and do these experiments. They give you instructions: go attack this computer, go forensically analyze this computer, see what happened and where's the malware. There's no capture the flags, though. We got to add that.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, tomorrow I'll be doing a capture the flag.
Now, whose capture the flag are you doing?
So it's going to be at West Oahu. So
okay.
The HATS team has got that one set up
That's
over
the
there.
Hawaii Advanced Technology Society from Honolulu Community College, which is probably the premier team here on the island. It was started 2 years before TACT even came up.
Yeah, Jason and his crew, right?
And this is from Aaron Tanaka at Honolulu Community College, started this little crew. And they're heavily aligned, of course, with the Pacific Center for Advanced Technology Training, PCAT, and UH West Oahu, and they're quite a team. They do some amazing, a lot of competitions.
They win a lot,
yeah, they do.
Good.
They do the National Cyber League, the NCL, which is a bunch of sandboxes. Everyone signs into their own sandbox and tries to solve problems, right? And score. How'd you do last time? you competed, right?
I competed, and I was doing pretty good on the early stages. Toward the end, when we had the finals coming up, there was a little less focus on the NCL. So yeah, I mean the finals went well, not so much with the NCL, but we had another team at KCC that did quite well. They were top 10 in the nation.
Well, that's amazing that we even score with the mainlanders.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that many people don't realize that we're way out. We're the furthest west and furthest south state in the Union, because we're on the same latitude as, I think, Guadalajara, Mexico, central Mexico. But we're on the edge of the Pacific Rim, where not everybody likes us. So we should be robust in cyber, right? And it's nice to know that we're actually competing at that level.
I think what's coming to the workforce is going to be valuable. I think we're going to have to work to keep them here, to keep them engaged in helping us, because we're going to have to bring the wages up for these kids. The need's there.
Yeah,
it's big. We've got, how many have come through the program to date? Or
just
what are you
on this
looking at?
island, we have over 220, I believe, that
Awesome.
have come through this program already. Our goal was 400 students. As far as I know, by the spring of next year, we will meet that goal.
Wow.
And that's system-wide. We have 7 community colleges.
So those are like 2-year degree.
Not all of them
summer
are
certificates
degrees.
or whatever, but
of accomplishment, or certificate of competence, which is 12 to 15 units of nothing but cyber.
Okay. So
And
they could go out and begin to help out anyway, probably on the defensive side, monitoring or helping to set up tools for.
That's perfect for the working
trapping.
professional
Sure.
who wants to shift a career really quickly.
Okay.
So someone who, say, works for HMSA and he wants to change the department over to the cyber operations, he can come and take 12 to 15 units, get that competence
That's
certificate,
enough?
and that's enough to get you into that arena.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all you need. Certificate of achievement, though, is 30 to 36 units, depending on what campus you attend. And then you also get your associate's degree, usually along the way. And when you do that, you also get professional certs.
Right.
Right? What's the professional certification that you just got?
So, yeah, related directly back to this last semester, I went ahead and took the Certified Ethical Hacker.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it usually has this requirement for experience, 2 years.
In the field.
Right.
Sure.
And for students that, can't get that in this short period of time, you can pay for some really expensive training, like $2,000 more than that, or you could take a class. And we use the official EC Council books,
Oh, okay.
and so it counted as training.
Awesome.
And then you were able to take the test, but you are actually even able to take it at a discount. So I mean, not only are you getting out of the the crazy $2,000 training, but you actually got to take the test.
And the experience waiver as well, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
good.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
something, it's a
Sure.
barrier to entry to the workforce.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Not having the experience, but needing the experience.
Mhm.
It's catch-22. It's been forever.
And
Yes.
a lot of people talk about that, how people show up and they've got certs, right? And so I mean, realistically, I think the owners out there, you're going to have to be prepared to train for what you need.
Yeah.
People can bring basic skills to the table. The people that you're going to hire, but you're going to have to be prepared to engage them. Don't just send them loose. Oh yeah, here, go help me. Oh really?
Right.
Like you got to have you got a plan for that ongoing training. I hope more and more of the organizations here will continue to fund maybe that future education, that next couple of years, or that next cert, the CISSP or the CompTIA Security Plus, or whatever it may be, that can help these kids continue to grow, into that organization. Here, there's a lot of competition because it's so small.
Right.
So everybody wants to pump another $100,000 into Nathaniel here, then he goes over to my competitor and
That's
works,
right,
right?
yeah.
And so that's always a concern in Hawaii, but
Right.
we've got to sort of get past that because the need is going to be so great.
It's great.
Our data is being taken, our intellectual property is being taken, our PII is being taken, and so we're just going to have more eyes, watching the house.
Right.
And
Yeah, a lot of vendors are getting on board with this now. So the people that bundled the books, it's a provider called Cengage. They do textbooks, and you paid a fortune for your books. There's 4 smaller books, and the students were forced to pay $370
per book.
No,
total.
for the bundle. But this
seems-
next semester, not only are we taking it from 8 weeks to 16 weeks to get more practice,
Yeah.
but the vendor has said we'll give it to you in e-text for I think $100.
Oh, it's time for me to sign up.
For the whole thing, and you get $100 off the test, so it's basically free.
That's awesome.
Sorry, man, you were the experimental
That's
model.
okay.
We
That's
got you
okay.
through the
So
experiment.
the guinea
was a
pig.
success.
Have you been working while you're going to school? Or you
So I did an internship this past semester with
Okay.
High Tech Hui.
awesome? Yeah.
Really
One of
great
those
people
guys?
there. Yeah.
Sure.
But apart from that, I've been turning things down to focus on finishing this
School.
education. Yeah.
Good.
0% unemployment in cyber.
Yeah.
Yeah, you write your own ticket.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, you go to these events where you have these different employers that are interested in these, smaller pool of potential applicants, and they're already telling you, if you can do this, we'll bring you in for an interview. And when you're a poor student, it's very tempting to just
So that pull,
tempting,
that
yeah.
pull away.
Yeah,
Are the
so-
classes only available during the day, or can they go to night school and work a day shift, or
They're
how's it?
mostly available during the day.
So you would have to work a second shift somewhere, and then
Right,
of course
right.
you're exhausted for school.
on this
and
island.
blah,
Now,
blah, blah.
Maui
Yeah.
Community College offers these all online.
Is that right?
You can do the whole thing online.
And Phoenix as well. I mean, some of these other schools actually have. I know we're talking about UH, but there are.
Yeah, well, Maui would give you the rates that you pay. It's about $126 a unit.
Wow.
It's one of the least expensive ways to actually break into this and get some certified education that people will take seriously. It's a really great way to break into the
Beyond.
market.
So how do you think that compares to CompTIA and SANS and some of these other types
Well,
of
some of the courses we
ISACA
teach
and that
are
kind of stuff?
geared towards CompTIA's test. So the
Okay.
first thing you took was the 122 course, Cybersecurity Fundamentals.
I actually took
Geared towards-
networking first.
You took networking. So
Did
the
you do
Net
Network Plus?
I did
yeah.
the Network
Oh,
Plus.
okay.
and,
After that course.
and then I did a A+ after the OS hardware and install, and then
Okay.
I did the Security Plus after 122.
Oh,
so-
really? Well, that's awesome. So
So-
those are great certs to bring,
Right,
to
yeah.
bring in the door.
Yeah, so just this entry-level knowledge on kind of all fronts is what I was aiming for
Sure,
with that.
that's
yeah,
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a
And
really good setup
does the
for that.
school help fund those exams? You pay for those yourself, or how's that work?
So CompTIA gives them a discount.
Yeah, we do get a
For
discount
students?
for that, yeah. And it brings it down a lot.
Substantially.
Yeah, it does.
You get a big discount, and we're trying to develop funding to help people with the cost of the test. So one of the things we do to help with the funding is you co-founded the ICT Club.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that after the break. We co-founded the ICT Club. They go out and they do penetration tests on different companies, and they donate, and you can use those funds for whatever you want. And a lot of people want to use it to supplement the cost of a certification exam.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think it's about time to take a break. I
Let's pay
haven't
some
gotten a
bills.
word on this, but we're going to take some break here and pay some bills and come right back.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right
that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion, nothing is making sense for me and you. We've got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better. Try a little more, harder every more.
I wonder if the mics are, I wonder if it's the amplification of the mic versus his.
Welcome back to the Cyber Underground. I'm your host, Dave Stevens. And caught us off guard.
Nice.
That
We're
was
back.
great. That's okay. We're back here talking with Nathaniel Weeks about his entry into the cybersecurity arena, how he did it.
His
and
white hat entry.
His white hat entry. Yeah, that's right.
We gotta keep this clear now. They want to get that face and get him confused with hackers.
So well, let's review that
Ethical
really
hacking,
quick.
yeah.
So usually hackers right now, unfortunately, are classified into only a couple of different classifications.
Yeah.
You know, there's white hat,
Right.
which is the good guys, the black hat, which is definitely the bad guys, and then there's a bunch of classifications that fall into the gray hat
Yeah.
arena, hacktivists,
Right.
or cyber terrorists. And you know, how did you pick the good guys?
Yeah. There's there's a lot of money on the other side.
There's a lot of money on the table. How did you stay on this side?
Right. That's a good question. No.
He's allergic to handcuffs. You know.
Now he's rethinking.
Right.
Right.
How much money?
No. So I was not a hacker. I was not I wasn't interested in trying to break into a computer or anything like that. So it was just that was the first time I'd even heard about that being used for good, right? So before that, it was hackers, right? It's the ones that are in the news every day that are doing the bad deeds. So it was interesting to coming from the outside, coming from zero, right, to this knowledge, to get to hear that that's actually a career where you do that for the good guys, So
How do you feel about this now that you have this much education, a couple of certs, and you're going to go to University of Hawaii, West Oahu? How do you feel about your career now? I mean, you think you're on track?
right, I really do. It's really exciting actually. Like I have, I've been working really hard to get where I'm at, and I know I still got some ways to go, but I'm excited about the next couple of years.
And you got an excellent path, and there's people here just chomping in the bit to hire you with the National Security Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Defense.
They need good help.
They need people like you. And once you get your undergraduate degree, that bachelor's degree, then you're going to be incredibly valuable. And please stay on the island.
Yeah. Don't be the brain dump.
Yeah, the brain drain, and this
brain
happens
drain,
in
yeah.
Hawaii all the time, right? We're talking about you make about 30% less, or even less than that, out here in the islands compared to what are the tech centers? Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Redmond, Portland, New York. Those
Denver,
places pay big.
It's
Denver's
blowing up
another one,
everywhere.
yeah.
There's, even Salt Lake City. I mean, it's coming up everywhere. There's a
We
lot of tech.
gotta start
happening
paying our
everywhere.
people a bit better out
Yeah,
here.
well,
And
we
'cause-
got and all the old bald dudes with the white hair and the white beards need to retire. Let these kids in the workforce quit
That's
keeping them
right.
jobs.
the future
These
leaders
guys are
out
working
here.
to 80, like you got enough money, man. Go fishing. Jeez,
This is the place to go fishing. So.
that's what I'm saying.
right.
Like, just take it easy. You don't got to work anymore.
Tell us about the ICT Club now. You guys,
Yeah.
during, not last semester, but the semester before, you guys formed this club, you and Rochelle Manson-Logan.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got,
Yeah, so
How'd that go?
we actually formed it. Part of our initial thought on why we needed the club was to help other students that may not be like socially inclined to find like an outlet to help them study, help them learn about what's going on at the school. And then we were given this great opportunity with the email phishing campaign to help the community to test their employees, see like if they're really actually exercising safe browsing and whatnot.
This was great. So we actually had a KCC graduate from Kapiolani who was running an IT department. And he came to our IT advisory board, which is when we talk to all the community members that run businesses. Hey, are we training the right people for you? And he said, I'd love to participate in this. And that's the first company you guys did. We did an email phishing campaign against them. And we were unsuccessful.
Yes.
To a point. Nobody actually entered personally identifiable information,
Right.
but we accumulated a grand amount of data about all the people that clicked on the links.
Right.
Sure.
And that's still, I mean, if they clicked on a PDF, we could have had that wrapped up with some malware.
Yeah, an image or whatever today. Yeah.
Right,
So
and
it's
we can't do that.
Today
That was
they got
not in
the
the
mouse over-
contract,
Right,
right?
yeah.
We had
Oh, it was
barriers.
non-destructive or
We
whatever?
had non-destructive, non-invasive, so we just tried to gather people to,
Right.
give us your phone
Interesting.
number.
Yeah. We had some small errors in there where, well, not too small, but now one of the emails went to their IT person, so it got snuffed out pretty quick whenever that happened.
Block the servers.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was
we
that
got
was a
blacklisted
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
immediately. So
backtracking.
that was a little bit of a obstacle, yeah.
Right. It was a great experience, though. I mean, it was the learning experience from that you can't get from a classroom.
So
But we
that was one
continue
of the
to
goals,
seek
right?
out those opportunities, though. So we're actively looking for some other opportunities for you guys to do that with. So you business owners out there that want to test your staff, you want to find out what kind of take rates you're getting, this is a good way to do it. And then you can donate some money to these kids for the effort that they put out and get
That's
them
a
some more
great point.
education.
The donations go to the IT Foundation here at the University of Hawaii at Kapiolani Community College. It's a 501c3, so you actually get a write-off at the end of the year. It's a charitable donation.
Exactly.
Right.
Awesome.
And the kids get to use it for certifications. And our original goal was to try to get everyone
Give
to
them the Black Hat
DEF
or
and
DEF
Black
CON,
Hat.
yeah, awesome.
And we just couldn't make enough money.
Yeah, well, it takes time, you know.
But
Things
students
start
are
slow.
going. We have 5 students that are going on their own
Awesome.
to DEF CON, which is July 27th to 30th this year in Las Vegas. And we're going to broadcast this show live from the floor at DEF CON on
That's
July
awesome.
28th and interview the students. So Hal's going to be there.
Nice.
And I need someone here to
Oh, in the studio?
anchor the studio.
Okay, that'll be
If-
me.
If
I'll be
you're
here.
available,
Yeah, yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. It's Friday the 28th.
Friday the 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's,
Live from Black Hat here on Think Tech. That's awesome.
Yeah,
on the
it's gonna be
Cyber
great.
Underground.
That's
Yeah.
super cool.
But now you know they're going to get some influences there, and they're going to learn about some other avenues of recompense that aren't necessarily white hat related. That's all I want to say.
that you need to know these things. You need to know
Yeah.
what people are doing that could break into your network, so you can defend your network. One of the classes we had, I mean, we had 3-hour sessions in this class. It was just insane. But one 3-hour class was a skill set that I'd picked up at DEF CON.
Awesome.
I went and learned how to pick locks.
Oh, yeah,
And
nice.
physical security is a big part of this, right?
Sure.
So I had sample locks and 4 lockpick kits, and I brought it in, and everyone grouped together. And at the end of that lockpicking class, Cesar and a couple other guys were grouped up together, and they were timing themselves with a 6-pin lock,
Yeah.
which is your basic standard door lock. And they were doing it in, 36 seconds?
Yeah.
Behind
Just
their
a few
back.
seconds.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, once you
we
play
had to
with
stop them. Don't go outside the room and do this. Because
Yeah,
now they have a skill, right? And
Yeah,
they
and this
all went
whole
out and
lock,
ordered these lock
there's like
picks.
lock picking societies out there, and these are. I met there's a kid that works for Microsoft I met out here, and he regularly goes to those competitions. They have clubs that meet every week, and it's a realm of being able to get harder and harder locks opened up, right? And they get into the safes and the tumblers, and it's cool, man.
It's hard to say that you're in one of these societies because I always picture there's the guys that do the medieval war playing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
There's a Civil War reenactment.
Yeah.
And there's a lockpick.
And then there's the
society.
lockpick guys, you know. But it's
this,
cool, right?
This is cool.
Yeah.
Being a geek, I love
Well,
it.
it's hard security, right? That's where what security started, right? Security was a lock, right? It was
That's
a
right.
locksmith. Like
Right.
that's that world, you know. So I think it's cool that it comes from there, and that IT people, and specifically security IT types, pick that up, because the physical world that I'm in, the physical security world, a lot of them doesn't. It's only starting to blend these last few years, where people are starting to understand that.
Right, so-
we need physical security and cybersecurity.
Most
right?
people
related.
in physical security, they're part of the facilities department.
Quite
right?
often,
And
quite
they're
often.
not even connected with the cyber
Sure.
or the IT.
The,
group, which-
the IT. It's
which
not
is,
uncommon for us to have to sit down, I'll say, and let a client know, look, I need his IT and facilities may have never even worked on a project together, and it's
They might
physical
not know each
security
other.
that I request them both at the table because we've got to have all the stakeholders here to get the right answers. You know?
Especially now since a lot of the physical security devices are IoT,
Sure.
right? And even if
Internet of Theft.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We're going to have to do another deep web segment, and we'll get you back on here. Well, in your last couple of minutes, what's your path now? What do you think of your future? What are you going to do?
So I think the next step is to start doing a lot more capture the flags, get some more practical, challenges ahead of me. And then I think...
Can we describe that really quick to our audience?
Sure.
Capture the flag, a CTF exercise. Could you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, so they set up these virtual machines that have certain hidden either words or it just helps you to navigate these systems and to find flaws, essentially, so that you know the system inside and out. And so that was also part of the NCL too.
Now, that's the National Cyber League. So people can look that up on the web, and that runs 2-3 times a year. And
Yes.
it's nationwide, and anybody can sign up.
Maybe.
Maybe, okay.
Yeah, so I know if
definitely
you're in
lots
school,
of-
I know
And
if you're
certain
in
ones they open up, obviously, the Guard hosts some, the Air Force hosts some. There's,
Right.
Reno's doing a bunch of different cyber hooey. There's a bunch of this going on today where there weren't so many just a few years ago. So
There was
there's a
almost
lot of
none.
opportunities
Yeah,
for
this
for
is,
the kids to compete.
It's quite nice. Now, we did one in the spring, a couple of years in a row, the CCDC,
The CCDC.
Collegiate Cybersecurity
Yes.
Defense Competition.
Yes.
Yeah, CCDC.
Cool.
And it was, this one, so in NCL, you do it individually.
Yeah.
Everyone's an individual.
Oh, I see.
CCDC, you
Right.
replicate like a blue team.
Yeah.
You're a defensive team,
Teams, sure.
whereas the red team's the attacker team. You don't ever see them. So you all go into one room, and then my favorite story in the whole world, the team I was coaching, they were all in one room defending the computers, and I brought pizza for lunch because I thought I was going to be a nice guy. And the judge said, no, put the pizza here, spread it out. And he sent an email called an inject to the team, pretending to be somebody else. Hey, Auntie Millie sent in pizza, come and get your lunch. All of them stood up.
And all your defense walked out the door?
And that was it. They walked out, red team walked in, it was all done.
Boom. I love it.
Done.
I
I want to
love
point
it.
out that I was not a part of that CCDC. I was in the next year.
You would have been looking for that.
Yeah.
So,
That's
no,
so
what I
awesome.
find is when good folks like yourself get up into an interview, it's always, hey, what's your education? What's your certification level? What have you actually done?
Right.
So all these things stack the deck in your favor. You got a cybersecurity certificate of achievement, you got AS on IT, you got your certified ethical hacking, your network plus you were in the ICT club and you did the penetration testing, plus you did the National Cyber League and CCDC. So you got all this experience too. So when you walk in that door, the world is your oyster.
Where do you want to work?
Yeah, where do you want
What
to work?
appeals to you?
NSA actually sounds really
Yeah.
Do you want to work in the tunnel up here in
Yeah.
Washington?
That
Okay.
actually sounds really good
Well,
to me.
I mean, why not work at the top? That's the top of what's happening in the world, I believe, and so,
Yeah.
Our group, the Russian group, the Chinese group, one of them three, you want to be in the mix, and you might as well work for us.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more interesting than that.
It really doesn't, and NSA has
So you won't be able to tell us what you do
multiple
later.
areas. You can go from computer network defense to multiple other cyber portions of the NSA and keep your retirement and your benefits. And it's,
And
completely
it's
different
combined
job.
now. They
Right.
combined offense and defense, so
It's-
there's some
it's all
ethical
in.
issues with all that, right, that people have talked about.
Yeah, so good choice. Okay, anything you want to say to us in our final seconds before we let you go?
I want to say thanks for the last couple years.
Thank you
So,
for being
yeah.
such a
Right
great
on.
student. This wasn't about teaching. I want to emphasize this was about learning, and
Yes.
the effort you put into learning this stuff
Totally.
makes you who you are. So good
Right.
job, man. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Aloha, and we got to cut this short, and hopefully you'll join us in the cybersecurity realm. And next week, we'll be coming back talking about more cybersecurity. Until then, stay safe.